Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere out there. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Thursday, December 4th, 2025. In this right here, the thing that you have located today, well, what's it called? I would love to tell you what it's called if I had the right graphic. I don't. So I have to go over here. It should be in the unhappy hour folder. I don't know why, but let's go to A2D4. That's agree to disagree 4. And nope, not there. Hold on. Where's it at? Strictly Football. Where's our Strictly Football logo? We'll go with that one. Strictly Football. Thank you for joining us here on the New American Media, because the old American media failed you. Today, we're going to take a look back at the NFL last week. We're going to look at the lines and predict what's going to happen this week. And by the way, do you see the number one team in the nation, the Ohio State Buckeyes, beat the Michigan? I'm sorry, that team up north. We're not supposed to say their name, but it's setting up a really great week of championship conference football in the minor leagues, college football. And at this time of year, sadly, my Cleveland Browns are out of playoff contention. So we're looking forward to the draft while we're trying to work with our rookies. So maybe just a brief moment on that, but we're here to talk strictly football. Thank you all for being here. Buckle up, because the show starts. I got to switch my folder again. I don't know how these got separated. The show starts now.
I'm Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
New American Media is proud to present a division of the Unhappy Hour sports show, Strictly Football.
It's the Unhappy Hour.
Yes, it is the Unhappy Hour, but it's sort of happy hour for us, because this weekend we're going to get to see Shedeur Sanders versus Cam Ward, the number 1 and number 2 most talked about draft prospects from last year's draft class play this weekend in Cleveland. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's bring in our partners in crime, Mr. Mike Bear, a Seahawks fan extraordinaire, host of Whiskey and Wisdom, host of Toxically Masculine Tuesday, and you may have seen him on Ancient Aliens or at your local casino. Welcome to the program, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, Brian. It was an exciting week of football. I'm sort of looking forward to talking about it.
Heck yeah, let's get it going. James Mitchell, you can call him Jim, rocking a Pulp Fiction shirt. Love that movie. I got to rewatch it. It's been too long. How are you today, sir?
We're doing good now, Brian.
Yes, back up and rocking and rolling.
But that's an inside joke. We'll let that go.
Yeah, we will let that go. Missing from in action today, Ezrael Robinson. He just graduated high school, and now he is going to be working this week. So he had to take care of some commitments to get the proper attire to go get that coin, go get that cash, go get that stash. So hopefully we'll get Izzy back for next week. All right, let's take a look at last week. Let me share this tab instead and pull this up on the screen. Let's maybe take a walk through all of this, shall we? It was Turkey Week, and there were 3 Thanksgiving Day games, Mr. Mike Bear. We'll start with the Packers beating the Lions by 7. Lions fall to 7-5. Packers improved to 8-3. That was a crucial matchup in that division that the Bears are leading, by the way. So walk us through what we learned in this one. What did you take?
Well, again, we learned that the Lions are not that good. Jared Goff had a great game, 20-26. 256 yards, 2 touchdowns, but it just wasn't enough. Their defense couldn't really stop the Packers. They stopped them in the fourth quarter, but they were behind, 2 touchdowns at that point. So as it turned out, the Lions, again, this is where dumbass coach, what's his name? Their dumbass coach, he keeps going for it on 4th down. It was 31-21. They're on the 15-yard line. He goes for it on 4th and 4. They don't make it. You kick a field goal there. That was with about 11 minutes to play. You kick a field goal there. You got the ball back around 7 minutes to play. Kick another field goal, and a field goal would have won you the game at the end of the game. Instead, they have to play for a touchdown. It's just what's his name, Ben Campbell.
Mr. Campbell.
He's a dumb shit. And there's a fine line. They say there's a fine line between holier than thou and spiritually advanced. There's also a fine line between riverboat gambler and dumb shit. And this guy's on the dumb shit side of it. It's like, I always go back to field goals are a failure, say the analytics guys, right? I go back to the 2015 AFC Championship game where Bill Belichick is down inside the red zone 4 times in the fourth quarter. He goes for it on all 4 on 4th down instead of kicking the field goal. He loses, 15-9, 15-12. If he'd have taken the field goals, the Patriots go back to the Super Bowl. So that's stupid. It's just dumb. Dumb coaching is what it came down to here.
Well, Matt LaFleur, he's definitely taken his share of shots over the years. And as a Browns fan, I've had plenty of complaints about Kevin Stefanski. What did he go for it on our own 31-yard line this week?
Yeah.
That
was genius.
Just dumb shit play. I'm so used to it. I'm so ready for a change. They're even talking in Steeler Town about getting rid of Tomlin. We're like, can we take him, please? I think we could maybe improve on 9-8, perhaps. Who knows about that? But yeah, Matt LaFleur, they look at this. Love sets a new mark, 4 touchdowns in a game.
Yeah,
that was new. That's the first time he's ever done that, and they needed it.
The Lions' defense isn't that great. The Lions' defense isn't that great, and it's starting to look like the Lions' window is closed up. So
that's wild to even consider because it just seemed like a lock that they were going to be perennial contenders for the next 5
years. I think last year was their year, and the defensive injuries just destroyed it. So
yeah, Hutchinson. Jim, surprised by this?
Interesting thing happened. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but all 3 games on Thanksgiving, the dogs were barking. All 3 games, the dogs not only covered, they won the game.
Wow. That's not usual. I wonder if that's ever happened in Thanksgiving history before. That would be
I don't recall that. Well, if you want to go back, it used to be only 2 Thanksgiving games, and Detroit and Dallas were always the perennial players of Thanksgiving, but they added a night game a couple of years ago. So now there's 3 games on Thanksgiving. But now we have your Amazon Prime game on Friday night. And consequently, the dog covered and won the game Friday night also. So that's 4 in a row. So if you want to talk about the whole week, boys.
So are you saying on a short week you should go with the dog?
Well, you mean coming up this betting week?
In the future, yeah. Is that a trend?
Yeah, well, I'm not speaking of that trend, but this is not a trend. This is something that hasn't happened. I don't know how many years back where all
I can tell you. I can tell you according to Grok, and by the way, Grok does hallucinate, so I'm always open to.
I got your Grok right here, Brian.
Yeah, I got your Grok here, pal. So I asked Grok. It said no, it's never happened with the 3 teams on Thanksgiving, but not even in the era of just 2 NFL Thanksgiving days games, primarily 66-05, underdogs never swept both contests straight up. So yeah, this is a unique occurrence, Jim. Good job pointing that one out.
Well, also all 16 games that played this week, 10 out of the 16 covered the point spread. 10 dogs out of 16. Well, it was a dog week.
Dog eat dog world on Turkey Day. Lots of animal action. Let's go to the other one. We were going to ask Izzy about this, man. They got a necessary win. Cowboys improved to 6-5-1 by beating the Kansas City Chiefs, that's Cheats, who fall to 6-6, Mike, and they're on the verge of being pretty much out of the playoffs as it stands right now.
Yeah, well, good, because we're all sick of them. And, I would say Dak Prescott outdueled Patrick Mahomes, but that's not what happened. Dak did get a couple of late touchdowns that were important in the Cowboys' comeback, but bottom line, Chiefs just aren't good enough. Cowboys needed the game more, and they took it at home. I don't. There's not much I can say about this. I mean, Dak played good. He didn't play great. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I think he had a fumble too. I'm wrong. He didn't have a fumble, but in the end, the Dallas defense was able to just hold them off just enough to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the stats and see that Mahomes had 4 touchdowns passing, no interceptions, and you're like, okay, well, they probably won. They didn't.
They didn't.
They found a way for Dallas. I mean, they're kicking and clawing. Getting some of those players back have helped their defense.
I think the Chiefs have some guys that have gotten a little fat, dumb, and happy, and just don't care that much anymore. And I think it was in this game. It was mentioned, it's getting to the end of the game, and they're like, "Why isn't Chris Jones out there on defense?" He was taking a breather. So that's what happens when you get a little fat, dumb, and happy, and get a few rings. You don't care as much, and it feels kind of like that's what's going on with the Chiefs. Like that's why every 3 or 4 years you got to reset a roster. You really got to reset it and get guys that are hungry in there.
By the way, in the comments, Jan Schill said, talking about the coaching decision, kicking it, going for it, whatever the case may be, mentioning that Don Shula always went for the sure points, and he was a successful winner.
Yeah.
Let's see, Joe Grana asking, when are you guys going to do a mock draft show? I'd love to see your opinions.
When the season's over.
During mock draft season.
Yeah.
Although today I would love to maybe just touch on just a moment or two of college football, because now everything's condensed to the teams that matter, some of the most high impact players from the biggest programs. But yeah, when it's time for that season, we're going to do it. We're on season 2. We did one last year. We did a live draft show. I think I did 3 days in a row of the draft. But yeah, so coming soon. Thanks for joining us, Joe Grana. Make sure you hit subscribe. And to CB804, yes, we will get to your Bears. Holy crap, your Bears. I didn't have this on my bingo board when the season started. Jim, what did you think of this game? Dallas needed this win, and the Chiefs are in trouble.
Well, what Mike said, as far as a lot of players with the Chiefs just seeming disinterested, there's a lot of truth to that. In fact, I was leaning toward the Cowboys in this game. In fact, I think I had bet the Cowboys on a one-teamer, and this was my initial win this week. As far as the stats go, I mean, there was stuff like Mahomes is 17-2 straight up indoors, but the Cowboys were 4-1 against the spread as a dog this year, and they're 21-9 straight up at home. This statistically, this game was a wash as far as looking at the trends and deciding on which team you wanted to bet. But
a coin flip or a pick 'em.
What Mike's way of thinking is that it just seemed like the Cowboys this time of year are playing a little bit harder than the Chiefs, and I agree with that, and that's why we went with the Cowboys.
Yeah,
in this game last week.
Rasheed Rice had a heck of a game. 2 more touchdowns for him there.
It goes back to that old adage. I mean, Cowboys are getting 3.5 at home. Home dog and tough, especially the momentum that they have this part of the season. And Prescott is just playing out of his mind.
Yeah, and you said what? Mahomes is 17-2 all-time indoors. Like, that's kind of impressive. Of course,
his last 19.
17.
Yeah, his last 19 games, he's 17-2 straight up indoors.
Yeah, that's a pretty good stat right there. Here's another one. Dallas is on they're now 3-0 since 24-year-old defensive end Marshawn Nealon was found expired. So 3-0 since then. Who knows?
Yeah.
Team Destiny. I don't know, but they're rallying together, Mike.
Yeah, I think that's a factor. I think that the trade for the Jets defensive tackle, whose name escapes me at the moment, and getting some other guys back, I think is probably more significant. They got better personnel on defense, and so they're playing better defense. So.
Yeah, just another thing, the big bugaboo in this game against the Chiefs, teams that played overtime on Sunday, which they did prior to this game, then play on Thursday, are 4-24 against the spread. They are now 4-25 against the spread.
Yeah.
Because they played an overtime game on Sunday. And that wears the hell out of the team when they have to play overtime.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's move over to this game. Did not require overtime. Geez, was that Patrick Mahomes on that commercial? No. Okay. Saw the red. I get sick of looking at him. All right. The Bengals. I called this one. The Ravens just aren't that good. They're just not that into you, Baltimore. They're just not that into you, NFL. And my God, fellas, if there's a year that the Cleveland Browns could have made a legitimate run at the division, everybody's 500 or below over there, it seems like. I forget where the Steelers are at now. But, I mean, it is a wide-open division, and we just can't catch a break. But Bengals get the win here convincingly, more than doubling the Ravens, Mike.
Yeah, and that was a bit of a surprising game. I had the Ravens picked in that one, but it's not easy to win 6, 7, 8, 9 games in a row, right? And that's what they were trying to do, and you just run out of gas at some point, or you run into that one team that's really sharp for the game. And the Bengals, took some inspiration from Joe Burrow, I think, and that was that. It was, as they say in England, a comprehensive beating, and the Ravens were not really ever in that game.
Jim, a comprehensive beating was doled out on Turkey Day.
Yeah, I had the Bengals in this also. The Bengals historically play the Ravens tough, and especially with Joe Burrow coming back. I mean, Burrow is 18-2. Now he's 19-2 against the spread as a dog of 3 points or more. I mean, he's especially in division. I mean, he's 14 now, 15-7 straight up as an away dog. 19-8 against the spread after a loss. The Ravens, they had good stats going into this game. The only bad stat the Ravens had. They were 4-7 against the spread this year, and home favorites of 7+ points are 6-13 against the spread in primetime night games. So 6-13, that's better than 2-1, in their deficit. So the play here was definitely the Bengals getting that many points.
Yeah, and just the lift that they get from Joe Burrow coming back.
Oh, they're a completely different ball club with Burrow at quarterback.
Yeah, and even old Flacco has the ability to light him up, but Joe Burrow, he's a top quarterback, and it's just he's unfortunately missed a lot of games over the years, but there's a lot of players who have missed a lot of games in their career, and then they find a healthy stretch. You just never know. But I sort of pull for him. Joe Burrow's a likable fella, former Buckeye, went and got his success at LSU. But look, they're in the race. They're only 4-8. They're still in it. They could theoretically finish 9-8. That might be all it takes to win the AFC North this year. Yeah. Nobody's running away with this division. So I will keep my eyes on it this week for sure. See if they can keep it going.
I can tell you the Browns are not winning the division. Hey, sorry.
I had hope.
I can confirm that.
I had hope until this past week, but we'll get to that, of course. Yeah. Let's go to the Bears and the Eagles. All right. I'm surprised here. And then here you are, CB804. You're a Bears fan. You're finally getting a good team to watch. Mike, what makes this Bears team good to watch other than Caleb Williams? Because I know you want to say Caleb, but give us another reason. You're a big Caleb Williams fan, and your opinion has proven out. He's progressed in his career.
He plays well enough for them to win games, and they're 9-3 now. Are they really more like an 8-4 or 7-5 team? I think so, but the way things have worked out, his legs have carried them over the end line a couple of times, over the goal line to win some games. Maybe they shouldn't have won, but they deserved to win this one. They were good. They were solid on both sides of the ball. They have some good receivers. Caleb is good enough, even despite the painted fingernails. And he makes some big plays when they need him to. And the Eagles are hitting that tough stretch. I think we can say Jim's got Regina's nail polish there. I think we can say with absolute precision that the Eagles are not repeating as Super Bowl champions this year.
Ooh, he's calling it now.
They're just not good enough.
I don't know
but they're not good enough.
Look, I can't count them out just yet. It was interesting that A.J. Brown had 2 touchdowns in this game. He's been often forgot about in this offense.
Yeah, and what was the outcome of the game, Brian? They lost.
That was a loss.
So when you force the ball to somebody, again, I think they have some problems. They got to rethink their offensive they're not their strategy, but their offensive concepts aren't really working very well.
Well, that is a good point. You get the me guy. Yeah, you get your stats and you get the loss.
And guess what happens? They lost.
You get the loss. Jim, this was one of the dogs, right? I mean, we didn't.
Oh yeah, this was a huge dog. This game opened at 7. It pretty much stayed at 7 all week. 7 was just a huge number in this game. This number was falsely inflated, because the Eagles are the Super Bowl champs. But the big bugaboo in this that we had discussed for probably 2.5 minutes last week was that the Eagles or Jalen Hurts is not the same quarterback when Lane Johnson is not on the offensive line.
That's right. Yeah.
And they haven't won a game since Lane Johnson's been out. They are now 5-11 straight up without Lane Johnson. And he's been out for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they're on a losing skid. I mean, Lane Johnson was the one that was keeping Hurts upright. But a lot of the other stats just went to the Eagles. I mean, Hurts is now 20-1 straight up as a home favorite. 20-1, and after this game, they're now 20-2. And those 2 losses were when Lane Johnson was not playing.
Yeah. Can't argue with that one.
Well, they're playing hard for their new coach. Let's play a clip of this here. Well, hold on. If this is from I might not be able to play it, but he goes shirtless. He takes off his shirt, and I don't know. It's for like hot dogs or something. It was some promotion.
This is kind of
The Wieners Circle in Chicago promised free hot dogs if head coach Ben Johnson took off his shirt, which he did after Friday's win.
Didn't need to know that, but thank you.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Okay. But yeah, Bears are legit. They've done it now for a little bit. And Eagles.
Aren't they actually technically the number 1 seed right now? That's crazy. They're not going to stay there, but good for them. Good solid win.
Yeah, the number 1 seed. You're right. Good to point that out.
Yeah, as long as there weren't any group hugs in the locker room after he took his sweatshirt off. I mean,
any shirtless group hugs are just not okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's
right
a
there.
Beckham Jr.
No sword fights. All right.
Hey, right there. That's where you insert the hot dog joke. But that'd be way beneath us. I'm not going to make a hot dog.
No, we don't go that far.
Beneath us.
No, we're not doing that.
No.
All right. Speaking of beneath us, this Browns performance. But let's talk about it. San Francisco gets the win, 26-8. Yeah. There is a lot to break down, and I did a lot of that during our live stream. Actually, I did that during the live stream that didn't happen. I watched this game. I didn't want to go play by play. Some questionable coaching calls. I think Kevin Stefanski, as I briefly mentioned in the intro, went for it on his own 31-yard line. And I didn't even mind the hyper-aggressive play, which was dumb. I didn't like it, didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. But the fact that the play was discombobulated, people were running in, running out. They didn't have it prepared. And then the play, of course, was Harold Fannin Jr., the rookie from Bowling Green, who's an awesome player. But then he's taking the direct snap, but they weren't set up properly, and he fumbles it. They got the ball. They would have had possession anyway. It didn't matter so much, the fumble. But you call a timeout. You didn't have your shit together. On top of making a ridiculous call to go for it at your own 31. It's Kevin Stefanski. I'm so done with the guy. I don't know why he's still employed. But regardless, the 49ers did enough to get this win here. Shador did okay. He had a nice touchdown pass to Harold Fannin Jr. I think it was a 34-yard touchdown play. No stupid interceptions. 3 sacks for 34 yards, not the best, but Shador's playing okay. He's not wowing anybody, but maybe this week against the Tennessee Titans, he'll have a chance to shine. He did okay. He did a Dylan Gabriel-esque performance. Nothing super impressive, nothing super egregious in the very conservative Kevin Stefanski offense. Myles Garrett got 1 more sack, getting closer to the NFL record. I don't know, Mike. Another loss for the Browns, and your Santa Clara 49ers got the job done here.
Yeah, the Santa Clara McCaffreys got the job done. Yeah. They did enough. Brock Purdy was good enough. Brock Purdy was not a lot better than Shador Sanders. Shador just needs to learn. He just needs starts, and he hasn't made any catastrophic mistakes yet, which is huge. When we look at the Seahawks Vikings game later, we're going to see catastrophic mistakes, the kind of mistakes you can't make as a rookie. He's not forcing things. At least you can give him that. I was hopeful that the defense was going to really hold the Santa Clara McCaffreys down to like 10 points. That didn't happen. Your defense didn't play all that well. Didn't really give up a lot of yards, but gave it up when they needed to stop. They gave up a lot of plays.
Well, I think some of that is definitely from that short field position.
Yeah.
And special teams and whatnot. If you look at McCaffrey, he was only a 2.7 yard per average. He 20 carries for 53 yards.
Yeah.
The Browns defense, we just weren't put in good positions. Like once again, we kind of handicapped ourselves. We ended up our hand behind our back.
I mean, not a lot to say about the game. I didn't watch it very closely other than, I knew when the Browns fell behind, they didn't have enough offense to catch up.
Yeah, Quinshawn Judkins had 91 yards. He almost doubled the output. It was if you watch this game like I did, the whole first half, I mean, we were just dominating this game, but we weren't getting the touchdowns.
Any points, yeah. And the weird thing is you got a situation where it seems like the coaching staff is working against the quarterback. That's not good. That's not a good situation to be in. So.
Yeah, all three of San Francisco's touchdowns came on short fields too. The result of recovering turnovers.
Yep.
And then the other was a 66-yard punt return by Sky Moore. So the defense did its job for the most part. Just special teams let them down and 2 turnovers. So, Jim, it was enough to get it done. Convincing. They won by 18 somehow. But the actual battle on the field was much closer than the final results.
Yeah, this game kind of disputed our Monday night stat. Teams that played Monday Night Football the week before, 10-15 straight up, 7-17 against the spread the week after. Consequently, both Santa Clara and Carolina, who had played Santa Clara Monday Night Football the previous week, both with one less day of practice, both won the games and covered. So 49ers 8-3 straight up versus teams with losing records, and both of those stats qualified. But the big dispute was the fact that they had played Monday Night Football prior and still won and covered the point spread. And the point spread opened at 5.5. It closed at 5.5 at the Suncoast up the street here. So.
I mentioned
one uncovered.
One uncovered. Yeah, I mentioned the Harold Fannin turnover. That was at the Browns' 32-yard line. Gage Larvadane also muffed a punt, giving the 49ers the ball at the 18-yard line. They scored 6 plays later to Jennings. And then the 66-yard punt return. So, I mean, it was just 3 stupid plays, 3 bad plays. And at least that one where they weren't on the same page, the play clock running down, 4th down, going for it at your own 31. It's either the 27 or 31, I forget, but or maybe it was 32 there, it said. I just don't understand what Kevin Stefanski's not seeing, but regardless, it seems like they're going to ride this out through the season at least. So it just makes me so mad knowing that Mike Vrabel was on our sidelines last year. He was filling in. He was a special assistant. He was working with the offensive line. He was here. He was there. He was everywhere. Why'd we let him out of the building? Speaking of in the building, a fun note, cleared for practice today, throwing the ball at quarterback. Deshaun Watson, Mr. Massage himself. I would not be surprised if he got some action at quarterback this year. He could be a tradable asset if we could revitalize his image. Maybe he could revert to that form that we saw in Houston all those years ago, and it was just injury related. I don't know. But
yeah, I think if he's healthy, you got to try him. If he's healthy, you got to try him.
Because Shador hasn't won the job.
Yeah, exactly.
He's done okay, but Shador hasn't seized it and taken it. I guess maybe give him another game or two, and if he's still putting up one touchdown, losing by 18, I don't know.
Shador needs a year or two.
I think the plan was to redshirt him. They didn't expect things to go this way. They thought Flacco would be competitive and maybe we could ride out with Gabriel. Gabriel wasn't trash. He wasn't throwing deep, but I don't know that he was that the coach was letting him.
He's kind of, it's not just a left-handed thing. He kind of looks a lot like Tua to me.
Yeah, well, he's a little guy too.
So what you're saying, Brian, is to go ahead and showcase him, for a future trade,
Hey,
for trade picks.
You know what?
Brian, no one's going to absorb that contract. I mean, that's just going to have to be all renegotiated. I mean, what did he get? 217 mil.
I think he's open to that. I think Deshaun is open to that, but he's got a lot to prove to show that he wants to play football.
No, if you keep your ears open, people are going to tell you who they are.
Well, it was $230 million on that massive mega contract that ran Baker Mayfield out of town, unfortunately. But we're on the hook. It's fully guaranteed. One of a million reasons why the NFL league office hates Cleveland. But that being said, we already paid him. He's already going to be on the roster. We're going to be 60% of the way through that 5-year contract at the end of this year. See what you got. Kick the tires. If Shador can't go and start winning some games and making some progress, put him out and see if he's ready to go. Maybe we could find it. If he can play like a top 15 quarterback, every year the maximum salary for quarterbacks goes up. So I don't know. I just wouldn't be surprised. And I'm not rooting against him the way that I used to. I was so angry about Baker and how they ran him out of town, and I didn't think they needed to do that. I put it all on Watson. It was more about management, the GM and the coach, obviously. But at this point, if he can come out and be the Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson, and be like, hey, I need a mulligan. I was kind of a creep, and I get that. My bad. I won't do that again.
That's where he got all his massages, was in Houston, Brian.
Yeah.
I know. Well, alleged. The ones that we've heard.
Girls there are much cuter.
This guy's got 10-foot pole marks all over him. I mean, he's,
We can't get away from the hot dogs and the 10-foot
He's not going anywhere.
all day.
No.
All day. All right, let's bounce over here. Jacksonville Jaguars. Doggone it. I mention it every time I cover this team. The Browns traded to fall back 2 spots in the draft so that they could move up and take the Heisman winner. We got Mason Graham with the number 5 pick. But we were like, hey, it's a top 5 team. We'll take that first-round pick next year. And look, they're 8-4. They win this one. Obviously, it's against the Titans, Mike. No big deal. But any thoughts on Jacksonville Titans?
Well, I mean, Izzy went after Trevor Lawrence a couple weeks ago, and I think it was fair. But he's stepping up his game. He's making the plays he needs to make. And the Jaguars are now 8-4, which actually makes that Seahawks win in Jacksonville look a lot better. People try to say the Seahawks don't deserve to be rated highly because who have they beaten? Well, Jacksonville's a pretty good team. And again, I don't have a lot to say about this game. I didn't watch it much. The Titans don't have a chance, really, against any kind of mediocre team. And the Jaguars are a little bit more than mediocre, and they got Trevor Lawrence who can do it sometimes.
So you're saying the Titans are going to have a chance this Sunday because they're going to play a less than mediocre team in the Browns?
No, I do think the Browns are going to win that game.
Okay. Well, a broken clock is right twice a year, I guess. Jim, corner of the bar TV game.
Oh, absolutely. This was the consummate corner TV game.
Trevor Lawrence had a decent game, though. 2 touchdowns, 229 yards, no mistakes.
Yeah, which was surprising. Jaguars 1-18 straight up when the temperature is under 50 degrees. Of course, they're one of the Florida teams, and game time was 45 degrees in Nashville. And Mike called Blake Wally during the game and asked him what the temperature was, and Blake told him it was 45 degrees. So we went ahead and but you cannot bet the Titans. I mean, in this game, this was the consummate corner TV game. It was a no bet game. It wasn't even a watch game. I mean, Titans 7-21 against the spread, 3-11 against the spread at home. Now 3-12 against the spread at home.
Yeah,
just miserable numbers. I mean, you can't touch it.
Well, speaking of miserable numbers, C.J. Stroud, no touchdowns, 1 interception. It wasn't the worst game ever, but they got it done. Houston Texans, they get C.J. Stroud back, and they took down the ailing Daniel Jones. It was revealed that he's playing, Mike, with a broken bone in his leg, right? A fibula, a hairline from a fibula? That doesn't sound pleasant or wise.
Well, I mean, the story of this game was the Houston defense, which, some people say it's the best in the league. It's the best statistically in terms of yards, but it's not the best in the league. It's good defense, though.
Who is
top
the best in
five.
the league? The Browns are there. The Texans are there.
Yeah, Browns, Texans, Seahawks, Rams.
Yeah.
Are all good defenses. I mean, their defense was the story of the game. They held down Jonathan Taylor to like what 85 yards, 90
Not many
yards,
people do that.
and kind of dared Daniel Jones to beat him. And even though he had 2 touchdown passes, he really couldn't. So it just turned out that the CJ Stroud managed the game and gave them enough. And they got a real DeMeco Ryans is not going to be fired. Boy, does he need to bring in a new offensive system that takes advantage of CJ Stroud's talents next year, because I think CJ is being wasted in this current offense. And maybe it's a personnel thing.
Might be
The
offensive
receivers aren't
line a
great,
little bit.
offensive line and receivers and the running game, but they got to build around that the offense if they're going to be better. So we'll see what happens. But it was a good win for Houston. They're 7-5. They're back in the playoff hunt and are only 1 game behind the Colts now. So division game, tough game.
Yeah, that AFC South. I mean, what you have? What isn't that's Jacksonville and the Colts and the Texans?
Mhm,
They're all
mhm.
the same. So
Jacksonville, Baltimore,
Titans.
No, Baltimore's with Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh. But the AFC South has
I meant
basically flip-flopped with the Browns of 2 years ago with the AFC Central. All the teams were playoff worthy or wild card worthy.
Playoffs. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Playoffs? Jim, the Texans took it down. They beat the Colts.
Yeah, Texans were a dog last week, and 1-12 against the spread as a dog after a win as a dog. So they were installed as a dog in this game, and they went ahead and won the game and covered. The game opened at 4.5 and was bet down to 3.5. Indianapolis. Indianapolis has kind of fallen off the ledge the last couple of weeks, and
speaking of Indianapolis,
playoffs. What talking about playoffs? You kidding me?
Yes, I know. I'm
Playoffs?
serious. Yes,
I just hope we can win a game.
I mean, me too, Coach. I with the injury to your quarterback, I am concerned as well, Jim. Back to you, Jim.
Yeah. So the Colts 7-1 against the spread versus the AFC. Now 7-2. Division game that they usually play each other pretty tight. Like I said, the Colts opened at 4.5, and they were bet down to 3.5, which was an indication that there was Texas money coming in on this game. So it was bet down a full point. That's about all I got on this game, other than the fact that, like I said before, the Texans going into this game 1-12 against the spread as a dog after they won as a dog. So they won as a dog 2 weeks in a row. So, that stat's now going to be 2-12 against the spread coming up this week, if they are in fact a dog.
Gotcha. Well, let's go from dogs to Dolphins. Dolphins get another win. Don't look now. They're 5-7. They're trying to salvage something and right the ship. Of course, they only beat the Saints. Beat them. The Saints fall to 2-10 on the year. Mike Berra, Tyler Shuck, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception here.
This was a game of which team sucks less, and the Dolphins sucked less than the Saints. That's all I have to say about it. 2-0 teams that aren't going anywhere with no real future. I'm out.
Jim.
Yeah, this was a no play game for me. Saints 2-7 against the spread as a dog. Tua was 4-10 straight up coming into this game, and only 9-22 against the spread as a home favorite. This is probably only the third time they've been listed as a favorite this year. I think they were a favorite when they played Atlanta. But Atlanta's been ass all year as well. So it was that was the corner TV game when that was on that week. But
if they're ass, maybe we should put that on a T-shirt. What was that phrase? What did you just say? Falcons are ass.
Yeah, Falcons are ass. Yeah.
Maybe we should make that on some merch.
They're one of the ass teams. You know, they're there with the Jets, which consequently, you know, the Dolphins have this week. You know, they've got to go up to New Jersey and play in frigid weather, and you know, oddly enough, the Dolphins are favored.
Yeah.
You know, I don't figure that. I don't know why.
No, I don't really either. But look, they're 5-7. They're kind of Devon A-Chain. He's a 134 yards and a touchdown. They got a couple things going for him.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the ass team there. Falcons fail. Falcons fall. The fail cons. Thankfully, they give the Jets a win, which helps the Browns draft position for next year, Mike. They edged this one out. This was actually a surprisingly fun game to watch, and the ending was interesting too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Jets win. I'm interested because this is the Seahawks opponent this week is the Falcons. Basically, what it comes down to is you got to stop Bijan Robinson, who's fantastic. I mean, Jim, you know, every so often there's a player that I lust after. And it's like, man, if we had Bijan Robinson instead of Ken Walker as a lead back, I'd be putting the Seahawks in the Super Bowl because this guy, he just makes all the right cuts, all the right moves. He knows everything. So it's all going to come down to, that game's going to come down to, can the Seahawks hold down their running game? If they can, it's up to Kirk Cousins, who's average and looked average. And, you know, that's about all I got to say about the game. I think that two kind of poor, weak teams, and who knows where the future is. Maybe Kirk Cousins will end up in New York next year as the bridge quarterback for draft.
Once again, he's got a massive mega contract. I don't know how many. Does he have a year or two left on that? I forget.
I think they can get out of it. I think they can get out of it after this year. Let me double check.
Well, let's let Mike take a look at that, Jim, while he does. Jets get the win, thankfully, for me.
Yeah, the Falcons are just miserable team on the road. I mean, they're 9-22 straight up on the road. Jets, you know, just as miserable when the spread's between +3 and -3, which it opened at Falcons were favored in this game, even though they were on the road in East Rutherford. They were a 2.5-point favorite in this game, and they ended up losing the game, I believe, by 3. Yeah, 24-27. Jets. Jets 7-17 against the spread when the spread is between +3 and -3. So if it's less than a field goal, more than a field goal, the Jets normally will not cover this game by almost a 3-1 margin, and they not only covered, they won the game.
And yes, they can get out. The Falcons can get out of the Kirk Cousins contract next year and save $22 million under the cap. So whatever his last game is for the Falcons this year will be his last game.
Well, I mean, the Falcons can't really rely on Michael Penix Jr. He's always injured. I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. The thing about Kirk Cousins is
he's gone 3 years without an injury now, but 2.5 years. But he now got another one. So yeah.
Yeah, it is unfortunate,
but he's been injured.
And of course, this was the battle of the backups: Kirk Cousins versus Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod gets the win in this game.
Tyrod.
Right, no, it's Tyrod.
Tyrod, damn it!
No, it's crankshaft.
It's Tyrod. Tyrod's an automobile part.
It's Tyrod. It's Kelsey. Okay, Tyrod and Kelsey.
No, it's Kels.
I know. We're back at that. All right, let's go to this game here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers barely hanging on, Mike, to defeat the Arizona Cardinals. Baker's injured, but Baker's playing. Bless him. 18 of 28, a touchdown, no mistakes. Tristan Wirfs, the offensive lineman, caught the lone touchdown pass on the day. Baker barely had enough in the tank, but they got the win. What do you think?
Yeah, I was rooting for the Cardinals because Tampa's got the tiebreaker on the Seahawks by virtue of that fluky game in midseason.
Wait, tiebreaker. I mean, they're going to win their division. Well, I mean, they're neck and neck with the Panthers now.
Yeah, but they're beat up. The Buccaneers are beat up, and we'll see if they can sustain for the last 5 weeks or so. But they're pretty beat up. So, not a lot to say about it other than the Buccaneers are beat up and they scraped it out against the Cardinals.
A gutsy performance for Mayfield, Jim.
Yeah, the Cardinals going into this game, they were a deceptive 25-10 against the spread on the road. This is another team that we can probably list in the ass group, and Mike's happy about that because they're NFC West guys, allegedly. 17-20, Buccaneers eked out the win. Game opened at 3, was bet down to 2.5, and then was bet way back up to 3.5. So there was more Tampa Bay money coming in on this game. Buccaneers are 14-5 straight up as a home favorite, so that's a pretty good number.
Well, yeah, Bucky Irving came back, got a touchdown on the ground. That's good for me in my fantasy football league. We need him at this point. Yeah, you know me. I'm a huge Baker fan. I'm pulling for them. They're my second favorite team. Theoretically, I just root for Baker, hoping they can get it done. But they're going up against the Panthers in their division. Look, they're a half game difference. Bucks are 7-5. 7-6 are the Panthers. They got this upset win over the Rams, Mike. They beat the Rams 31-28. Rams fall to 9-3 now.
The story of this game is Bryce Young. He didn't throw for a lot of yards, but he made big plays for big yards when he needed to. He threw 2 deep touchdown passes that were very accurate. Good for Bryce. He had a good game. Panthers are like this. They're up and down. They were playing at home. And it's about time the Rams lost the game they deserved to lose. They didn't deserve to beat Indianapolis. They should have lost that game. So it's good to see the Rams being kind of brought back down to earth a little bit. But it can happen to any team, and it usually does. Every year you lose some games you shouldn't have lost. This is probably one of them for the Rams. But, sorry. I don't care.
Boo-hoo, Jim. No tears shed for those Rams, those vagabond Rams, formerly of St. Louis.
Yeah, this is one of my straight bets. I went ahead and I lost the money that I had won on the Cowboys, so I made the straight bet on the Rams. I laid the 10.5. Rams were just all over the board as far as winning this game and covering. The thing with the Panthers, the teams that play Santa Clara the week before, 19-37 straight up the week after. And as we talked about before, the Panthers had played Monday Night Football against Santa Clara the week before, and they still ended up winning the game and covering, well in there covering, getting 10.5 points, and they win the game 31-28. It looked like the Rams were going to make a fourth quarter comeback, and that did not happen. Rams going into this game 8-2 against the spread as a favorite, 8-0 as a road favorite. I mean, that was just a dominating stat. 9-1 against the spread on the road. So this game just screamed Rams, and I went ahead and after the game was over, I'm left with a hook in my mouth.
Yeah.
I took the game. I laid the money. I lost.
Yeah.
When you win, you win. When you lose, you admit it.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those things where the law of averages just caught up with the Rams. They'd won a few games they should have lost. They shouldn't have a record of like 9-2. They should have been maybe 8-4 or something like that, or 8-3. And because they lucked out on a couple games they should have lost earlier this year, and it just caught up with them. And that happens to every team. Happens to everybody.
Mike, Radiohead sang about that. They called it Karma Police.
Yeah.
That's this, man. Karma Police got him. But that's very true. I talk about the Browns all the time. Oh, we lost that one the first week against Cincinnati. Oh, we had that and lost it. We should be this. Our record should be that. And then you get a win over the Packers. Like, how did we beat the Packers?
Yeah, exactly.
It does balance out. Karma Police do balance the NFL quite a bit. But yeah, don't look now, but the Carolina Panthers are making a legit run at the division and at a wild card spot.
Well, I think unfortunately their quarterback is going to hold him back, but he also had one of his occasionally really good games.
He did.
And he did. It wasn't great, but he was good enough and got got the job done.
Well, look, how about Sam Darnold not being good, but good enough? No touchdowns, no interceptions, only 128 yards on the day. Somehow, absolutely steamrolled the feckless Minnesota Vikings, 26-0.
Well, Brian, why don't you share that tab that I just shared? Can you show? Yeah.
Oh no, I can't. If I play a second of a clip, it'll be pulled off the internet.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I can show a still photograph, but I can't show even 2 seconds of an NFL clip.
Really?
Yep. NFL and WWE. You play 2 seconds of something and they zap it. That nobody will ever see the show.
Okay, well, forget it then.
Mike, can you share it out? Let me tell everybody to follow Mike. Let me put this up on the screen here.
Okay, it's just Max Brosner's interception. I mean, look, you have one of the.
It was a great play. I shared that. He was going down, and
you have one of the best defenses in the NFL playing against a rookie undrafted free agent quarterback. What do you think is going to happen? They're not going to score. They didn't score 26-0. First shutout since I think they shut out the Bears 26-0 in like 2015 with a completely different coaching staff and defense. Ran the ball well enough on the Seattle side of things. Vikings defense was just focused in on not letting Sam Darnold embarrass them. And Brian Flores, one of the biggest scumbags on the planet, threw everything he could at the Seahawks. And again, 26-0. It should have been about that. That's about the right score. I did win my bet on this game, which helped me a little bit from my loss on Thanksgiving. But I think as a Seahawks follower, what concerns me about this game are two things: failing to adjust to the different blitzes that Flores brought, failing to adjust to that properly is concerning because that's what they're going to see now from now on. And they bracketed, double, triple. They had two guys following Jackson Smith-Njigba all over the field. They're going to see more of that, so they got to make an adjustment for that this week.
Mike,
and
2 receptions for 23 yards.
Time management in the last 2 minutes of the first half was absolutely atrocious and embarrassing. And I've had people on Seahawks Twitter like Rob Staten, oh, that's the way they should have played it. They should have deliberately wasted more than a minute of time by not using one of their 3 timeouts after they got the ball back. That's stupid. Okay, Rob, I'm sorry. You're smart, but that's a stupid take. Oh, because of the way the Vikings were playing defense, you always play to score as many points as you can. They should have been a lot more aggressive about it. So those two things on the coaching side bothered me. I think it was a obviously defensive victory. This reminded me of a Pete Carroll game where they kept the other team down and won, but wasn't very impressive. So
yeah, Jackson Smith-Njigba only 2 receptions for 23 yards.
Yeah, they actually had a guy assigned to him on each side of the ball. So if he went left, they had a guy assigned, and if he went right, they had a guy assigned, and they had a second guy who was traveling with him everywhere. So if JSN went in motion to the left or the right, they had 2 guys on him every time. So that's what the Seahawks are going to see more of. So,
yeah, and that look on the other side. I'm stuttering and stammering here, but it's not like Justin Jefferson did any better. 2 receptions for 4 yards.
Well, there was
nothing.
There was nothing there. They didn't have any guys open. Then you got. I will say this: the defense very impressive in terms of their receivers were not open.
Yeah.
The Vikings. So you can blame it on Max Brosner, but they didn't. They're big receivers. It's almost felt like Addison and Jefferson took the week off because they seemed like they were playing not to get hit more than anything else out there.
It's that tough time of the year where some of your superstars on fantasy football, they don't deliver for these reasons exactly, perhaps. Jim, the shutout might be surprising. 26-point victory here.
Yeah, the shutouts don't happen that often now in the NFL. Oh, Mike, Dave just walked into your screen. It was good to see he had pants on.
Yeah.
Barkley was getting around pretty well.
Barkley's doing well.
By the way, speaking of Barkley, did you see that we inducted him into Browns Nation?
Oh no!
On Facebook, we've proudly welcomed Barkley into the Cleveland Browns Nation. He's part of the honorary member of the Dog Pound.
He's in the Dog Pound.
Yes, he's an honorary member of the Dog Pound.
Woof,
better, little
woof, woof.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Yeah, this game opened at 10.5. It was bet up to 11.5. And Mike, did you get this game at 10.5 or 11.5?
11.5, and I won
You
anyway.
bought it at 11.5.
Yeah.
I almost I was just so close to pressing the button on this game. I mean, 11.5 just scares the crap out of me. And then I saw Max Brosmer was starting, and I was hurrying, to go ahead and press the button and make $100 bet on this game, but too little, too late. Yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Yeah, this game was just screaming Seahawks. When they listed Brosmer. In fact, I'm surprised that number didn't go way up at the end. The only thing that scared me about this is Seahawks were 5-9 against the spread at home. So usually when they're at home, the number is pretty big, and that's they win the games, but they don't necessarily cover the games. But this was a win and cover easy by the Seahawks, especially since the Vikings do not have a quarterback.
Yeah,
they're struggling right now. They're in a bit of a free fall mode for sure. Let's see how long it takes for the wide receivers to get frustrated. Adam Thielen got out of there. They let him go, and he got picked up by, where did he end up? The Steelers?
Yeah.
Well, let's take it
spiraling downward now. Yeah.
Well, look, the Steelers need help because they fell 7-20. What was that? 26 against the Bills.
Yeah.
Mike, the Bills righted the ship a little bit, and Steelers are sitting as a 500 team, like everybody else in the AFC North except the Browns and Bengals.
Bills are just a better team. They won the game. They played solid and won the game. And the thing about this too was that I thought is compelling is that this season is following the exact same pattern as last Steelers season. They start out hot. I think when Russell starting for them, they won 7 in a row or something like that, or 6 out of 7. And then they took away the play calling from him, and they lost 5 in a row and got bounced out in the first round of the playoffs. Same pattern is happening. I don't know if they've taken the play calling away from Aaron Rodgers, but he's getting less and less and less productive as the season is going on. And this is the pattern with the Steelers now. It's the coaching staff. It's the offensive coordinator. But I was told that the problem last year in Pittsburgh was the quarterback. Apparently we can say that that's not true. So it kind of gives me joy to watch them fail.
I got no love for Schittsburg. Jim, 26-7. They win by 19.
Yeah, the Bills had
by the way, one quick thing. Didn't Josh Allen set a record for rushing touchdowns?
Yeah, a career record, for rushing touchdowns.
That's a pretty big deal. That's something.
Yeah, that is impressive.
Jim, what did you glean from this one?
Yeah, the Bills, coming off a loss, they have a pretty good record. They lost last week. They came back. In fact, they were one of the teams that good football teams normally win and cover. Coming back, and that's usually a good safe bet. The Bills were one of those teams that won and covered. The other team that lost the week before, the Buccaneers, they won the game, but they did not cover. But this game, the Bills going into this game, 22-7 straight up after losing a game the previous week, 15-7 straight up as a playoff team. And people may not remember, but Pittsburgh was a playoff team last year.
I blocked it from my memory.
Yeah, Steelers going into this game, they had some pretty strong numbers. 22-9 straight up as a home dog, 13-6 against the spread at home, 10-3 and 2 against the spread when getting 3 points or more at home. So this was a watchable game. Maybe not for you, Brian, since it was Pittsburgh, but I did not bet this game. I just left this game alone.
Well, I sort of pseudo root for the Bills and the Lions, teams that have never won a Super Bowl. I got a thing for that, the long suffering franchises. I don't really care, but go Bills in this one, I suppose. Good for them. All right. let's see. Next game here is the Chargers beat the Raiders, Mike, 31-14, 2 touchdown passes from Justin Herbert, but he got a hand injury, broke a bone in his non-throwing hand.
Yeah.
Is that going to harm him the rest of the year, or is he going to be a tough boy and figure it out?
Very little to say about this game, except that Justin Herbert sucks less than Geno Smith. Both teams are ass. Both teams have. Pete Carroll's got.
Mike said ass.
Bad. I said ass. Nothing to say about this game. I mean, some of the worst quarterbacking you're going to see in the NFL from Geno Smith anywhere. And I just don't. I think Pete doesn't. I don't see how he survives past Black Monday. As soon as the season is over, they got to move in a different direction. Nothing's working right there.
Well, the running game isn't working. Of course, that might be a direct result of Geno Smith not being effective behind center. But yeah, only 31 yards rushing on 15 carries. Not good. Brock Bowers, though, 2 more touchdowns for him.
Yeah.
Jim, Chargers improve, get the win, but Herbert gets his non-throw broken.
I think the public sports books pretty much tell you the public was not. This was not a real bettable game based on the number. This game opened Chargers favored by 9.5, and it closed at 9.5. That's a huge number, for a division game. Even though, as Mike would say, the Raiders are ass, and this game just screamed Chargers if you were going to bet it. 14-6 against the spread versus the AFC. They're now 5-0 straight up at home versus the Raiders. 7-3 straight up versus the Raiders, and Chargers are now 11-1 straight up versus teams with losing records. So if you were going to bet this game, you pretty much had to lay the 9.5 and keep your fingers crossed. But the Chargers, they won the game and they covered handily, 14-31.
This is a game that wasn't covered handily. This was a 1-point game in overtime. This is maybe the most fun game to watch all week. I don't know. You tell me, Mike. But the Broncos improved to 10-2 on the year.
Yeah, the Broncos are the most 8-4, 10-2 team I've ever seen in my life.
Hold on, say that again.
They just keep getting breaks.
Say that again. The Broncos are the
Broncos are the most 8-4, 10-2 team I've ever seen in my life. They're okay. They're pretty good. They're not great at all. They're not 10-2 good, but they've won the games. And you got to give Bo Nix some credit for playing a really good game in terms of at least yards. And they probably should have lost this game to Marcus Mariota, but Marcus Mariota showed you why he's Marcus Mariota in the end. He just couldn't make the really big play he needs to make to win the game. But he kept him in the game, but then he kind of didn't win the game. So, that it came down to that 2-point conversion. It's too bad. It's too bad because the Redskins showed a lot of fight and outmanned and just managed to just slipped away at the end. So sorry about that. But
well,
happens.
This is the strange time of year. Once again, with fantasy football, we're getting so close to the playoffs, and this Bo Nix having that extra period, having that overtime, we lost. We were done. This was the Monday night game, right? This is the last game of the week. And
Sunday night game.
Sunday night.
Yeah, it was Sunday night.
It was the last game of the day on Sunday. That's correct.
Yeah.
And we needed every point. We needed every point of that. I mean, we won by 0.18 points. We needed that last drive out of Bo Nix. Thank you, fantasy football gods. We'll appreciate it because we are trying to win this league for the first time in history. I co-manage with my college roommate Clint. So thank you, Bo Nix. And this was a fun game to watch. How did you guys feel on a granular level about going for it in overtime with the 2-point?
Yeah, I mean, what have you got to lose? Your season's over. You're not going anywhere. As Herm Edwards.
They are.
You play to win the game. Hello.
Good for them. Hello. You play to win the game.
So we're all okay with going for the 2 there. It made sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
It made sense because Dan Quinn realized that his guys were gassed. and if they played for the tie, it kind of stuck in my craw that they didn't go ahead and kick the extra point and just continue with the overtime. But what Mike said is a good argument. The Redskins aren't going anywhere this year, and they just went for the win. And Nick Bonito, got through the line, put his big paw up, and blocked that pass because the wide receiver was way open on the left side of the field when Mariota went to throw that pass, and Bonito knocked it down. I mean, that would have been two. That was two right there if he had gotten the ball 8 inches higher.
If he could have done a pump fake to get him off of his toes to go up and come down, if he could have lofted it, if he could have sidearmed it a little bit of it was there. The play was there. He just couldn't get out of the hands of the defense. You're right.
And I think this was the only OT game of the week. I didn't bet the game mostly because the Broncos are not a good road team. They're 9-24 straight up on the road, and they did not cover the point spread. The Redskins covered the point spread, but they didn't win the game. The important thing is the Broncos won the game, and they're now 11-1 straight up versus a team with a losing record. 11-1.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the New England Patriots. They're 11-2. They get the win, more than doubling the New York Football Giants. The return of Jackson Dart. Mike, that play where Jackson Dart got blasted into the sidelines, that was an iconic play, but the Patriots were making those hits all game long. One really kind of rough helmet to helmet, actually, but Patriots, man, they're hitting hard out there.
Yeah, they are. They're a good team. I think, again, their record's inflated. And I think talk of Drake May as MVP is one of those ridiculous things that only happens because there's a lot of.
Mike froze. Are you there, Jim?
I'm here.
Maybe Mike got the EMP burst.
Let me get in the car. I'll go fix Mike's camera.
That's really well played. Well played. Here, let me. Mike's absolutely frozen. Let me. How do I disconnect? How do I take him off of here?
You're gonna refresh Mike?
Yeah, I'm just gonna kick him off so that he can know that he's no longer he's got to reset the feed. That was a little inside baseball because we were working on some we were resolving some challenges, ironing some shirts, trying to get the show up and running today, but it's up and running, thankfully. This would be a good time to remind you that we do this show either once or twice a week, depending on how the schedule plays out for everyone. But please make sure you're doing us a favor. Follow Strictly Football. We are on X at TNAM Football. We're on X at TNAM Football. Also, make sure you follow our sports feed. That would be the Unhappy Hour _ on X, at American _media_ for the New American Media. Also, Mike Barra, he is at Mike Barra 333, and Seahawk Boy Mike B. Make sure that you're following. He got frozen during.
Yeah,
Mitch McConnell. He was talking, and then all of a sudden,
he's back.
I was just saying that I think this idea that Drake May is the MVP is something you only get from stupid East Coast sports writers. He's a good player. He's shown a lot. He's improving, but his accuracy on deep balls, especially, isn't particularly good. And somebody's trying to argue he's the best deep ball passer I've ever seen. I'm like, what games are you watching, dude? Really? So that's the only thing I got to say about that game. The Giants are ass. They're one of the ass teams in the league. And but I was told that the previous quarterback was the problem in New York. Apparently he's not, because they're now, 2-13, 2-12? They're bad.
Bad, Jim.
Bad.
Oh, I'm back. Here I am. Good. Yeah, Giants going into this game, miserable number here. 2-17 straight up, Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night. I mean, this was another game that I coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I was just, totally annihilated by that Ram game that I bet. I just didn't want to have anything else to do with putting any money on football games the rest of the week. But this was this game just screamed Patriots. You know, we know we saw that hit that Jackson Dart took. I mean, that was just. I mean, he needs to learn how to step out of bounds. You know, wide receivers shouldn't be doing that, but quarterbacks definitely need to. You know, Giants teams that played the Lions the week before. Again, this stat holds up. It seems to be holding up every week. The teams that play the Lions the week before, 8-17 straight up, 6-19 against the spread. So, you know, this game just screamed Patriots. The number opened at 7.5 Patriots, and it closed at 7.5 at Boyd Sports at game time.
Yep.
Well, your boy Ramondre, he's back in the mix. No touchdowns on the ground, but your boy Ramondre is back in the mix. I'm rooting for Travion to get those carries, but doggone it, 11 and 12, splitting them almost exactly. So I will follow that as the season progresses. Gentlemen, that is it for last week. Do we want to let's make our predictions? Mike, do you want to? You have that screen probably pulled.
No,
up.
I think we should go through. Why don't we do? Do we do Jim stuff first?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You have that pulled up on your X.
Yeah.
I got Jim's playoffs.
I will reshare.
I got my ESPN. We'll get
There we
you
go.
up on there.
What game are we starting with, Jim?
Tonight's game.
Cowboys, Lions.
Cowboys and Lions.
Yep.
All right. Cowboys giving 3.5 to the Lions.
Okay, let me get my schedule here. This game is now this game actually opened. Cowboys were favored by 3.5. The line now is Lions are favored by 3.5. So this game swung 7 points for some reason.
What was the reason?
When it first opened. I think it's probably a lot of money coming in on the Lions. The Lions, just to reinforce that thinking, the Lions 44-16 straight up. They're 18-12 against the spread. They are 29-13 against the spread at home. The Lions are 15-0 straight up after a loss. They are 13-1 against the spread after a loss, and Jared Goff is 39-16 against the spread indoors. I don't know why the number shifted. The number opened Cowboys favored in the beginning of the week, and it's gone all the way to the Lions side at this point. In fact, I'm going to make that indication here on my sheet. Any feeling on this game, boys?
No, I mean, I think the main thing that I would say about it is the Lions are not playing very well right now, and the Cowboys are. So I can see why the Cowboys are favored a little bit. So I think the Cowboys probably win this game because they have to.
Yeah, that's what scares me about this game. I don't have any inclination to put any money on this game at all.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are right now, as of last week and this week, a better football team. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is listed as coming back this week. So,
yeah, but you can't count on the Lions though, is what I found out the last few weeks. You just can't.
Grok is telling me Micah Parsons is out. I'd have to check that because Grok hallucinated.
Grok's effed up. Micah Parsons plays for the Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I hope he's out.
Yeah,
he's definitely out. Sorry, I'm jumping.
Like I said, I got your Grok right here. Huh?
I got your Grok.
All right.
Yeah, a classic hallucination. I don't know why it's what is it, 6-7 points?
Yeah, 7 points.
That's a ton.
Yeah, it opened Cowboys 3.5 beginning of the week.
Okay.
Right.
Next game is Mike and I's game. Mike, I think Mike's already hit this one.
Yeah.
Seahawks -6.5 at the Falcons. This game opened at 8.5. Seahawks is a favorite, and unfortunately, Mike got the worst end of the number.
Well,
But what it is. I expected this number not to go down, but to go up, which means there's Falcon money coming in on this game for whatever reason. This game opened 8.5. It was bet down yesterday to 7.5, and I checked it this morning, and it was bet down further to 6.5. Any substantial injuries on the Seahawks, Mike?
no. In fact, they're getting healthier. There's Jaron Reed's returned to practice. Julian Love is returned to practice. Two of their better defensive players. They could play this week. They're eligible to play. There's a guy named Riley Mills, who they drafted from Notre Dame in the 4th round, who was recovering from a knee injury. He's now practicing. And apparently, he looks fabulous. So, I mean, everything points to the Seahawks getting healthier for the stretch run. I don't understand why the line. I figured the line was going to get higher, which is why I took the 8.5.
Right. So did I.
It would get narrower because I don't see how anybody sees the Falcons are going to. Well, they're not going to win this game, but I guess maybe they're thinking the Falcons are going to cover. The only thing that to me gives an advantage is, and this is a stat I think we should track, is the 5 West Coast teams playing at 10 a.m. might be what some people are thinking, but Seahawks have a pretty good record at 10 a.m. So,
yeah, they've been a good road team. They're 11-1 straight up and 9-3 against the spread on the road.
Yeah. So
favorites of 4 points or more are 69, 26, and 1 straight up.
Yeah.
So that's a huge number. Falcons 9-15 against the spread as a dog, and Kirk Cousins 5-15 straight up in a dome. So this game kind of screams Seahawks.
Okay.
This
is probably a good reason to stay away from.
This next game, I'm going to hit this next game with a bet.
Before you get to the next game, real quick, you said it might be good to stay away from it. Do you ever subscribe to the theory that you should never bet on your home team, never bet on your favorite team?
No, just it's the old adage: don't bet with your heart, bet with your brain.
Okay, so as long as the brain can talk you into it, go ahead.
This is like the 3rd or 4th consecutive week that Mike has laid a straight bet on the Seahawks. So I'll just put that out there. But he's cashed all his tickets.
So I've been lucky. Yeah.
So I think Mike's betting with his brain. The Seahawks are good football team. In fact, Cowherd yesterday morning had the Seahawks in his Super Bowl bubble. So
it's possible.
Yep. This next game, I'm gonna hit this game. I like this game. There's been a lot of press on Mike Tomlin this week on ESPN and Fox Sports.
Very coordinated, maybe, yeah.
Even the fans were calling for Tomlin's firing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of rash, but I think this number is going to be a lot of smoke and mirrors. Ravens favored by 5.5. Division game. Steelers are 26-12-2 straight up as a dog versus their own division, the AFC Central. Steelers and Ravens, when they play, the underdog is 17-3-1 against the spread. Steelers are 3-1 straight up versus the Ravens in Baltimore. They're 8-3 straight up the past 11 games against the Ravens. The Ravens are 4-8 against the spread this year. Lamar Jackson 29-12 straight up. The Ravens are 97-32 straight up at home as a favorite. Lamar is 23-29 against the spread as a home favorite. That's not a real impressive number. Favorites of 4 points or more straight up are 69, 26, and 1. This is a value bet, guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that 5.5.
Wow. Okay.
Rogers broken nose and all.
Who's going to show up? Which team? I mean, they're both underperforming. I mean, it's
Well, I mean, don't you think the Ravens? I mean, I think the Ravens are a better team.
I don't.
They got the healthier quarterback, and I think they probably bounce back after last
Lamar's
week's
been playing bad the last 2-3 weeks. I mean,
and the Ravens defense isn't like the Ravens defense used
still
to be.
not right.
We're thinking legacy. We're thinking giving the Ravens legacy points. I think.
Well, yeah, the Ravens defense is in Seattle now, so yeah, that's the old Ravens defense.
Yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh and that 5.5 all day.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that's going to be the first game I bet this week. Okay.
All right.
Titans and the Engelmans. There we go. Browns. They are a 3.5-point favorite. They opened 3.5, and they are still 3.5. Not a lot of numbers on this game. This is two teams that don't play each other too often. The Titans are 7-22 against the spread. Not real good. The Browns are 21-34 against the spread after a loss. That's kind of a mediocre number. I hate to flag it for you, Brian. Corner TV game of the week.
But Myles Garrett and that defense is worth watching, and Shador improving. And Cam Ward, the #1 pick. There's reasons to watch. I mean,
it's a stinker. It's the only people who are going to watch it are Browns fans.
We'll see how Shador does against a bad football team.
Yeah,
and he put 2 or 3 touch.
Good idea. It's a good point, Jim.
Exactly. There's reasons to watch. I'm just saying.
This to me kind of screams Browns on the money line, but you just wonder where the points are going to come from.
Yeah, I don't like that half point. I don't know. It's against the Titans. I'd lay the 3.5 and go with the Browns.
I would probably.
The Cleveland's got a top 5 defensive squad. I'll just say that.
On top of it, like I said, if you watch that 49er game, I mean, we were in control of that whole first half. That's been the story so often, and we couldn't punch in when it came time to get the points. At some point, we should be able to do that. Now, obviously, if it becomes a trend, I'm the crazy one for thinking, obviously, it's got to change. Hold on, the roulette wheel, it went red 3 times in a row. It's got to be black this time. I'll put it all on black. That's not a good.
I could see the score in this game being 14-0.
Well,
and this is one of the lowest over-unders of the year. This game opened at 33.5. It's still 33.5. That is a low number.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. I would take the Browns -3.5. I would take them. All right. Colts giving 1.5 to the Jaguars. That feels like a coin flip there.
This game opened at 1.5 Indianapolis. I don't understand this number. It is still 1.5 as of this morning. The Colts are 7-2 against the spread versus the AFC. They are 7-5 overall against the spread. Jacksonville is 6-1 against the spread as a home dog. The Jaguars are 4-0 straight up at home versus the Colts. Colts have not won in Jacksonville the past 4 years. Jaguars are 5-4 overall straight up versus the Colts the last 5 years. But the Jaguars are 10-0 against the spread versus the Colts. They own the Colts on the point spread.
What do you think?
I will be hitting this game, and I will take the 1.5. Home dog M tough.
Okay.
Doing Jags.
Okay.
Yeah, no, just the Colts haven't been the Colts the past couple of games. That could change in one game. Who knows? And this is like not for all the marbles, but it sort of feels like it in that division. This is a huge matchup.
Didn't they say Mac Jones was playing on a broken leg last week?
Daniel Jones, yeah.
Daniel Jones.
Yep.
Yeah. So is he playing?
Yeah.
As far as I know, let me double check.
Yeah, he played the last game.
What's he
You
going to do? Rub some dirt on it, and go out there
I
and
mean,
play with a
essentially,
broken leg?
I think that is the plan. I think it's like a hairline fracture or something that's not. It's something. It's
So
yeah. I
Peyton
think
Manning put in a phone call and said, "Rub some dirt on it. Get out there."
yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's playing, as far as I know.
Yeah, there's no indication he's not, but they are watching it closely. So
Wow.
It reminds me of when Baker threw his shoulder out, and he played that whole season. It just he wasn't himself after the injury. Two different players.
That's a Ronnie Lott move right there. I mean,
I'm fine with him playing this week and missing next week's game.
just cut my finger off. I'm going in, coach.
Yeah, that's dedication right there.
Right.
All right, we'll keep our eyes on that one. Redskins giving, was it Viking? Hold on, Vikings are giving.
Redskins at the Vikings. Yes. Redskins at the Vikings. This game opened. Vikings favored by 1.5. It is still 1.5. Favoring the Vikings. Redskins 17-15 against the spread. Not a significant number there. Redskins are 1-8 against the spread their last 9 road games. That sucks. 1-8 against the spread. But can you take the Vikings? No. Is McCarthy? I heard McCarthy's. They're going to put him back out there. So McCarthy's supposed to play this game. The last I heard.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like I don't know. I'd be worried about the Redskins because of the disappointment of last weekend when they should have. They would have, could have, should have won that game. And if you get McCarthy back, the Vikings at home, yeah, I don't want to touch it.
Plus the Redskins, they played that overtime night game. Usually not good.
Yeah, so I wouldn't. I don't want this game. I don't like either team. But,
right. This game's not even watchable. It's a no bet, no watch.
Yeah, but I do think the Vikings are going to win, based on what I just said.
Oh, you do?
While we're making all of our picks, Deb, Deb, she's a moderator on your show, right? Like
she's from Toxically Masculine Tuesday.
Deb from SAC.
Yes, Deb, not from San Francisco, as I mistakenly called her once. She says, remember, you can pick your team and you can pick your nose. Just don't pick your team's nose. So thank you, Deb. Thanks for jumping in with your witty sarcasm. We appreciate your joshing around here.
Don't pick your family. Right.
Yeah, that too. All right, Dolphins, Jets.
Dolphins and Jets.
That is a tough color to read. Is that Dolphins giving 3?
Dolphins, yeah, they are favored by 3 points. This is another game I really don't understand. Dolphins opened at 3. They are still a 3-point favorite. Over under in this game is 41.5. Temperature at game time, 42 degrees. This is an important factor here.
Yeah.
42 degrees and partly cloudy.
Yeah.
Dolphins and Tua, 1-10 straight up in 50-degree or less weather. The Dolphins do not play football when it's cold. Period. 1-10. Yet they're a 3-point favorite, which is telling you that the sports books are telling you the Jets are ass, as Mike would say.
But they're a little better with Tyrod. A little better with Tyrod, maybe.
Right. Tyrod. That is correct. Tua is 5-10 straight up. The Jets are 2-2 straight up at home versus the Dolphins, 50-50. Jets are 2-7 straight up versus the Dolphins the last 9 games. They are 8-17 against the spread when the spread is between +3 and -3. But the Jets are 6-2 against the spread as a dog. This is a dysfunctional football team. I hate to bet it, but I probably am going to go ahead and bet it.
Wow.
I'm going to take the 3 just based on the weather.
You're putting money on the Jets. That makes sense.
A small taste on the Jets. It's a division game. They know each other.
Wow.
And Tua cannot play football when it's cold out.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
I think we're there.
Okay.
All right. Now you're talking me into it, Jim. All right. Next.
I like it. I'm going to take a taste of it.
All right.
Next game, Saints and
That's what Michael
Bucks.
Douglas said too, and look what happened to him. Brian gets that joke.
All right. Okay, Saints and Buccaneers. Wow.
Saints and Buccaneers. Buccaneers are a huge favorite. Division game, NFC South. This game opened at 8.5. It is still 8.5. Over under is now 41.5. It's been bet down from 42.5. Brian, is Baker playing in this game?
I haven't heard that he's out. He played the last game. I can check.
He's still got that shoulder in a sling and his left arm. Is that right?
Let me pull that up and do a double check.
Okay. Meantime, Saints are 3-14 straight up versus playoff teams. Saints are 3-7 against the spread as a dog. Buccaneers are 15-5 straight up as a home favorite, but they are only 2-3 straight up versus the Saints at home. Buccaneers are 6-4 straight up versus the Saints. Favorites of 4 points or more straight up are 69, 26, and 1. So if you're taking the Buccaneers on the money line, you got a real good chance of cashing a ticket, even if you have them on a parlay. 69, 26, and 1 is pretty strong as far as a straight up bet.
Okay.
Is Mike still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Next game,
Bengals at Bills.
the
Bills.
Burrows and the Bills.
That's an ass game. I wouldn't touch the Buccaneers Saints.
Yeah,
I think the Bucks are going to win, but
yeah, they're going to win the game, but that's a big number.
And by the way, I'm looking at the preview. It's not saying anything about Baker not being there. So
yeah, I checked the injury report the other day, and that on NFL.com, and the Buccaneers weren't listing. The report was not filed yet.
Okay.
Bengals and Bills. This game on my rotation sheet was listed as an afternoon game on Fox. This game has been rescheduled to a 10 o'clock game Pacific time. So this game is a morning game. Just to let you bettors know that like to bet parlays. This is a morning game.
yeah.
This game opened at 5.5 Bills. It is still 5.5. The game over under was 52.5. It's been bet up to 53.5. Joe Burrow, 19-2 against the spread as a dog of 3 points or more. Burrow is 15-7 straight up as an away dog. This 5.5, may be deflated a little bit because of the Bengals showing against the Ravens. They play the Ravens well all the time, so just take that into consideration. The Bills are 5.5 point favorite, and they probably should be a 5.5 point favorite in this game. Burrow is 26-8-1 against the spread versus teams that covered the week before. The Bills are 15-1 straight up at home. They are 18-14 against the spread, though, and this is a strange stat. They don't play each other often, but the Bills are 0-4 straight up against the Bengals. The last 4 games they've played, the Bengals have beat them all 4 games. Favorites of 4 points or more, 69, 26, and 1 straight up.
Well, I don't want to touch this game either because the Bills are not playing that well. They're better than the Bengals, but the Bengals played great last week. So I don't know what's going to happen. And if you don't know what's going to happen, don't bet it, right, Jim?
Either that or take the points. Yeah, if I had to bet this game, putting a revolver to my head, I take the Bengals in 5.5.
I might do that too. Yeah.
Anything on that, Brian?
Yeah, I'd probably do the same
Okay.
if I had to. I don't know that I'm like super into it, but I would probably do that.
Denver versus Oakland. Denver opened at 7.5. As of this morning, Boyd Sports at the Suncoast still has them at 7.5-point favorite. Over under in this game is 40.5. They're playing down the street here in Vegas. Broncos are 10-24 straight up on the road. Not great. They are 5-7 against the spread this year. Broncos are 22-29-1 against the spread. Broncos are 11-5 against the spread as a favorite, which is a good 2-1 number. Outstanding number here. Broncos are 11-1 straight up and 8-4 against the spread versus teams with a losing record. Favorites of 4 points or more, 69-26-1 straight up. Some deceptive numbers here. The Raiders are 4-1 straight up at home versus the Broncos. They're 8-3 straight up versus the Broncos the last 11 games. The Raiders are 12-3 against the spread versus the Broncos since 2018. But Gino is 6-15-1 against the spread at home. He's miserable at home. The Raiders have got a real good record against Denver for whatever reason, but this ain't your daddy's Raiders team.
Yeah. You know, well, because the question I have is the 10-24 straight up on the road. How much of that, like, how many of those 10 wins are in the Bo Nix era? That's what I would like to know. And I guess I can find out.
Well, how long's Bo been playing for? Is this
2 years now, right?
A year and a half?
Two or three? Two? Yeah.
So 15 games, but I mean, are they?
Yeah, well, half of those games are going to be road games. So since he's been playing for Denver, he's had 7-8 road games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 7 or 8 of those are Bo Nix. So I know that game was or that statistic was well below 10 before we started taking this statistic, but that 10 seems to be increasing week for week.
Well, you know, I just got to say that only having to give 7.5 against the Raiders is very tempting to me. And the only thing that bothers me really is the 10-24 straight up on the road record. So, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Let me see if I can piece.
So the rest of that record, as far as the on paper, the Raiders own Denver.
Yeah.
But like I said, this ain't your daddy's Raiders team. This ain't the LA Raiders. This ain't the Oakland Raiders. It's the Las Vegas Raiders.
So he had 4 road wins last year under Bo Nix. And if we look at 2025, let's go down to the games. 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 of those 10 wins in the last 2 years have been in the Bo Nix era. So I think I'm going to throw that out and go with the Broncos and give the 7.5. That's pretty good. It's pretty
maybe
good.
We'll just throw that stat out, or I'll go back.
No, but I mean, I think when regimes change, you have to reset on the stats. But you know, it's funny though. There's other stats like what was it? The Eagles haven't beaten the Steelers in Pittsburgh since 1964 or something. That's a trend. But this one, they're not quite the same team. So I don't know. Do you like this game? Would you touch it or no?
No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't bet this team.
I just can't believe in the Raiders.
There's it's the old adage. There's too many other games to bet. You can't force yourself to bet all 16 games. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
Speaking of that, by the way, teams that are staying at home this week, Carolina has got the week off. The Giants, the Patriots, and Santa Clara all have the week off.
Yeah.
So there's only 14 games played this week, not 16.
All right. I think I'm going to lay the money, and Jim's not. So
wow, you're going to bet this game?
I'm going to take the Broncos and give the 7.5. Yeah. I think the Raiders are ass.
They are. They are.
All right.
Bears at Packers. This game opened at 6.5. It is still 6.5. Over under is 44.5 points. The Bears are 21-34 straight up. They are 9-24 straight up on the road. The Packers are 3-1 straight up at home versus the Bears. Packers are 11-1 straight up the last 12 games against the Bears. They've won 11 out of 12. Packers are 13-6-1 straight up when favored by 4 points or more. The Packers are 4-2-1 straight up, but they are only 1-6 against the spread when favored by 6.5 or more points. The Packers are 20-5 straight up in December and January in the regular season. So the Packers historically are a strong finishing team at the end of the year. This game is probably screams money line, just based on the fact that they're 1-6 against the spread when they're favored by over 6 points. So what it is. But they do own the Bears. And that gets back to what Rodgers used to say, I own you guys.
I own you. I own your ass. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of that was the Rodgers era.
Well, I mean, in terms of playoffs, I'm rooting for the Packers to win this game, but the Bears keep surprising me, so who knows?
Okay. Moving on, the Rams at the Cardinals. The Rams opened at an 8.5-point favorite. They are still 8.5. Over-under is relatively large. It's 48.5, and that's based on the Rams probably going to put up a lot of points in this game. The Rams are 24-10 against the spread versus their own division, not including the 49ers. So if you take the 49er games out of that, they are 24-10 against the spread against the Seahawks, the Cardinals. The Rams are 16-7 against the spread. They are 8-3 against the spread as a favorite. The Rams are 8-1 against the spread as a road favorite. They're 9-2 against the spread on the road. The Rams are 4-1 straight up versus the Cardinals in Tempe. The Rams are 7-3 straight up versus the Cardinals. Matthew Stafford is 15-2 straight up in December and January. That's a pretty good stat. Cardinals are 8-24 straight up versus their own division, and they are 2-18 straight up versus the NFC West in November, December, and January regular season. So they are miserable straight up against their own division when it's cold outside.
So everything here, to my mind, screams Rams and give the points if it's only 8.5, right?
Yeah, well, I don't think that's ever been said in one sentence. Only 8.5. 8.5 is a big number anytime you're putting money down on football, and the fact that this is a division game makes it a bigger number. But I think based on the statistics and the fact that the Rams got their asses kicked last week in Carolina, I think they're going to And you could look at the Carolina game and said, oh, okay, they're looking forward to next week. They've got a division game, and they laid down, like rolled over on their back like a pup and pissed on themselves, which they did, but they're coming back. Maybe they were looking forward to the Cardinals, but yeah, Mike, you're right. They should smash the shit out of the Cardinals.
Yeah. But
no question.
If you look at the Cardinals record, even the long losing streak, they had 4 or 5. Most of their games, they're competitive. They're certainly within 8.5 points. Only a couple times that they've been beaten worse than that. But the couple times that they've been beaten worse than that, if we go look at this, let me go back forward. Couple of times they've been beaten really badly have been by division teams. The Seahawks and the 49ers crushed them twice. Each crushed them. But that's it's in Arizona, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Bidwells are going to take care of. What was it? Shane Steichen?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the next one to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, in this game, quarterback Jacoby Brissett, he's making his 8th straight start. I thought this was like week to week, and then it was just for 8 in a row now.
It's a Call of Duty thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Brissett already has 4 300-yard passing games this season.
Yeah.
Tied for the NFL lead. Thrown for 303 consecutive games.
Well, the other factor too that we didn't talk about is the bounce back factor. Jim, like you always like to say, this is your thing. Good teams bounce back after a loss. So
they do.
I would expect some intensity from the Rams.
They do.
Against the lowly Cardinals, who are just about ready to book their tea time in January.
Yeah, on 3 Cancun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
On the boat with OBJ.
Did you see OBJ talk about how tough it is to live on $100 million or $50?
I did. He was on some sports show this week.
Yeah, it's tough, man. $50 million. That's tough to live on.
I think if I was the owner of a team, I'd set up like a retirement plan. Not like after 55, but when you retire from football, and just put it into every player's contract. 10% off the top goes into your retirement fund. Okay. So when you retire from football, you will pay that out just so these guys have some income, because they're just, it's pathetic.
Well,
I hate it. I don't like OBJ. I don't like him, but who is that quarterback? I think he might've been an Ohio State quarterback. I forget. He played for the Seahawks in like 2012 or 2013. What was his name?
Terrell Pryor,
right. He got one contract. He got a $14 million signing bonus. And 3 or 4 years later, he gets arrested for a dispute in his apartment.
He got stabbed or something, right?
And it's like, dude, you get $14 million in a chunk, you stick 6 of it aside and don't touch it, put it into gold and silver or something. Oh my God, dude, how do you blow your life that bad?
Well, look, tell me why Bernie Kosar, Browns legend. By the way, he's out of the hospital after his kidney transplant,
for him,
which is great. Fingers crossed. We'll see how that goes. But I mean, he was one of those famous players that he was the number 1 pick in the supplemental draft. He worked his way into the Browns, and he went broke too. A lot of players go broke. So tell me why we can't have the NFL Players Association and the unions and really whatever, the collective bargaining agreement. Why can't you take 5%, 10%, set it up and say this is going into a mutual fund. It's going to go.
Or your after football life or something, or if I was an owner, that's what I would do. And I would tell,
protect
all my players, this is going in your contract. And you're going to be if you play 4 years, you're going to have something. You're going to have enough money left to buy a house afterwards or something. Just because I hate these stories. I hate them.
My good friend Gary Stewart, who I told you about, Mike, he used to play for San Diego. You know, he comes over to my house, you know, when we have the home poker game.
The poker game, yeah.
Yeah, which you got to come to the next one. You got to meet Gary. I mean, just
I'd
a
love to,
huge
yeah.
guy. I mean, he's 6'8". He played linebacker for San Diego. He's vested with the NFL. He did 6 years with the Chargers.
Yeah,
And
so
he played for Barry Switzer at Oklahoma.
yeah.
I mean, just a great guy. I mean, he works in the hospital systems here in Vegas now, but he couldn't touch his pension until age 50. You know,
Yeah.
and poor Gary. I mean, he's just banged up. I mean, his knees are shot. You know, but he's just a great guy, and he just now started cashing his NFL pension.
Yeah, which those pensions are pretty generous. They can be up to a couple $100,000 a year. But I mean, it just seems like they got to do something to protect these guys from themselves, you know, because they're young and stupid, most of them.
Well, he played for San Diego when Stan Humphries was the quarterback. When they played Santa Clara in the Super Bowl, and that was the biggest point spread that I've ever seen. You know, Brian asked me that a couple of weeks ago. What was the biggest point spread you've seen? And that was the Super Bowl that year, and the point spread opened at 16.5 and was bet all the way up to 19.5 when it closed.
Wow. And the 49ers covered.
Oh yeah. That was one of the biggest blowouts.
He was teammates with Dwayne Harper, who was an ex-Seahawk. I don't know why I remember that, but yeah. All right, moving on. 2 more games.
Okay, Sunday night game. Texans at the Chief. The Chief opened as a 3.5-point favorite. They are still 3.5. Game time temperature in this game. This is going to be a factor. Texans are an indoor football team. They play down in Houston. 30 degrees and partly cloudy at game time. So I think this is going to be a factor in this game. Texans are 2-12 against the spread as a dog after a win as a dog, which they won last week, and they were a dog in that game. Chiefs are 6-5 against the spread. Andy Reid and Patrick are 21-4 straight up and 15-2 straight up at home with an extra day of rest. So the Chiefs played on Thanksgiving, so they've had, as Mike would call it, a mini bye.
Mini bye, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Chiefs are 3-1 against the spread as a home favorite, but they are a miserable 1-6 against the spread versus teams with a winning record. That's a big number. Patrick is 23-6 straight up after a loss. Mahomes is 24-2 straight up when the temperature is 40 degrees or less. So Mahomes is kind of an anti-Florida team guy. He does real well when it's cold outside. And like I said, game time should be 30 degrees in Kansas City. This could be a good hedge game. I think the Chiefs win and cover in this game. I like the Chiefs in this game.
Okay.
Monday night game. Eagles at the Chargers. Eagles.
By the way, before you jump there, I'm feeling the Texans in that one. Chiefs are giving 3.5.
Right, they're giving 3.5. It's been 3.5 all week.
Yeah, I mean that's Arrowhead has got to be one of the toughest places to play. That place is so loud. One of the loudest places on earth. And I was at Woodstock in '99.
Yeah, one of the loudest places.
But I know Seattle, of course, being
Seattle is not loud now, but back in the day it was louder. But
I sort of like the Texans here. I sort of like the Texans in that one. Anyway, for what it's worth.
All right.
Back to Eagles Chargers.
Eagles at Chargers. This game opened at Philadelphia favored by 3. It is now 2.5. It's been bet down, so there's Charger money coming in on this game. The Eagles are 21-12 against the spread. Jalen Hurts now is 5-11 straight up without Lane Johnson. So the offensive line is still decimated with the Eagles. Eagles are 6-3 against the spread as a road favorite. They are 5-2 straight up versus teams with winning records. And the Chargers, not good, 5-9 straight up versus teams with winning records. This is going to probably be a leave it alone game for me. I'm not interested on hedging this game at all. If I have to play a hedge, I'll probably play the Sunday night game.
Yeah, Eagles are the better team, but they're not playing that well. And the Lane Johnson thing, you have to factor in. So
yeah. But like you said earlier in the show, Mike, Justin Hebert has got a broken left hand.
Yeah. Plus, he's not that good anyway. So interesting.
Is
all right.
Justin Hebert related to Fonzie Bear? Fozzie Bear.
No, he related to Bobby Hebert.
Son of Bobby Hebert.
I know.
That's good. That's good Saint knowledge right there.
Yeah,
indeed. True that. Yeah, I remember those days. All right. Let's make our picks, shall we? Mike, would you like to start with your picks?
I will start with my picks.
And guess what? We might not go caveman style with Jim. I said Mike.
No, we have an innovation now. Jim.
I said Mike. Hold on. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's not spoil the.
Don't count on it, sports fans.
I wouldn't bet on it. All right, Mike, you have your screen somewhere. There it is. All right. How did you do last week? What was last week for you?
Last week was 10-6. I am 125-69 for the season, which is I'm barely leading now. You guys are all nipping at my heels.
Oh yeah.
Tonight's game, it's nice to have a Thursday night game that's really relevant, and this is a relevant game. Both teams need this game. I just think the Cowboys are playing a little better than the Lions. It's in a dome. Oh, great! I must log in. Okay, well, why don't you log me back in? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it always logs us out. Like, you know what? This NFL Game Picker app, it acts like it's like the Chase checking account bank.
Right.
Like, you don't need Uber security to log me out every 3 minutes.
I got logged out as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Cowboys. I think they're going. It's in a dome, which means there's no other factors involved. So I think the Cowboys are hot and the Lions are not. So I think they're going to go to 7-5-1 and have the tiebreaker advantage over the mismanaged Detroit Lions. I'd like to bet the Bengals against Buffalo. I just can't, even though they got Joe Burrow back. Buffalo's a little better. They should win at home. Indianapolis at Jacksonville. I'm going to take Jacksonville at home. I think they take the lead in the division. I don't think they're the better team, but with Daniel Jones' injury and Indianapolis having some issues, we shall see. But New York at Miami is going to be on my bet slip. I am going to take the Jets at home because of the temperature. I think Jim talked me into that one. New Orleans, Tampa Bay. Tampa's the better team. They're going to squeak by. Pittsburgh at Baltimore. I'm going to like Baltimore at home. I don't believe in Aaron Rodgers. I don't believe in Mike Tomlin. And I really don't believe in Arthur Smith. So I'm going to take the Ravens to claw one out. I like my Seahawks against Atlanta. I wish I got 6.5 instead of 8.5, but I got to have my faith that they're going to pull this out. Seahawks final schedule is not easy. They play the Falcons, then they play the Colts, then they play the 49ers, the Panthers, and the Rams. So 4 very tough games. It will define their season. This is the last relatively easy game on the schedule. You got to go down there and take care of business to get a W. It's also the last 10 a.m. game on the schedule. If you're going to win the division and make me my $700 on that bet slip that's sitting up there, Mike McDonald, it's going to have to be this week. You're going to have to win this week. And if you're going to go to the Super Bowl, you have to win this week. So I'm going to take the Seahawks. Although weird, quirky things happen. Tennessee at Cleveland. I'm betting your Browns. I think their defense is going to be too much for the Tennessee Titans. Redskins, Minnesota. I like Minnesota if they get J.J. McCarthy back. Redskins played well last week. If they play that well again this week, they'll win. But I think that they're going to be deflated after that defeat. Denver at Vegas, another one on my bet slip. I'm taking Denver. I'm giving the points. I think they crush the Raiders, and the Pete Carroll era is essentially over. Chicago at Green Bay. I like Green Bay a little bit. Chicago's hot, but Green Bay, needs to win this game to get ahead in the division. I think they do so. Rams and Cardinals, third bet on my bet slip. I'm taking the Rams. I'm giving the points, even though it's 8.5. The Cardinals have played a lot of closer games this year, but I think the Rams are irritated after last week. They come out with intensity and they bury the Cardinals early. Houston and Kansas City. CJ Stroud is just not playing well enough, throwing the ball for them to win this game. I like their defense, but I think the Chiefs pull it out. And Philly at the Chargers. Philly's not playing well right now, but I think they are better than the Chargers. And again, it's in a semi-dome, so I don't think that's an issue. So my 3 bets are the Jets on the money line, the Broncos giving the 7.5, and the Rams giving the 8.5. And for my $20 wager, my potential payout is $153.02. So that's what I'm betting this week.
You betting a parlay, Mike?
Yep.
Look at Mike.
Making it happen, making moves. All right, Jim is going to try non-caveman style here by pulling up his NFL game.
We worked hard on this week, Jim. Don't blow it. Don't screw the pooch right now, Jim. Let's get this done.
No pressure.
Oh, yes.
Look at this, everybody.
Look at that.
And maybe one of these weeks we'll even get him logged into our leaderboard somehow.
Yeah.
Even though the numbers don't add
That's
up.
next week's tech support, okay?
All right, we'll do that for next week. Should we get bored with life and have extra time for side quests?
Okay, are you scrolling for me here, Brian? Or
No, that's all you.
No, you do the scrolling, Jim.
You control your
go over
page.
to the tab that's got that, and you can.
Is that scrolling right now?
That's scrolling.
Sir.
Yep.
Okay, all right. First game Thursday night. I think Detroit's going to win the game, not necessarily cover. Cincinnati, Buffalo. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think Burrow has turned that team completely around, even though their defense is not that great. I will go ahead and take the Bengals in this game.
So, Jim, that's why Regina can't have nice things, is because those Bengals bets.
Oh, she's got a lot of nice things, Mike.
That's why she can't afford to put pineapple on pizza anymore.
She's got a 4,000 square foot home.
As Ray Donovan once said, "Thanks for the pen. You got a nice house." And at that moment, I knew Ray Donovan was going to kill somebody with that pen. So yeah. Anyway.
Jacksonville, I'm going to go ahead and go with the home team getting the points here. I'll take the Jaguars. They historically they have the Colts number. I am going to go ahead and bet the Jets because the Dolphins are miserable in the cold. They do not play in cold weather. I will take Tampa Bay against the Saints. I am going to go ahead and go with my stats on this. Pittsburgh is not only going to cover, I think they're going to win the game against the Ravens. No brainer here. The Seahawks will beat the Falcons handily. I will go ahead and take Brian's Browns against the Titans. I will go ahead and go with the home team. This corner TV game, I'll take the Vikings. I'll go ahead and go with Mike. I think the Broncos will go ahead and beat the Raiders. I will go with Green Bay against the Bears. I think they will win that game handily. The Rams will beat the Cardinals. I'll go with Kansas City at home to beat the Texans, and I'm going to go with San Diego to beat Philadelphia.
All right. Look at that.
All right.
Mitchell on the screen, making it happen.
I was miserable last week, boys. I was 9-7.
Yeah.
And that takes you to 124-70?
That's affirmative. That's look at the head on Brian. That's good math on your part.
I know he's got the biggest head in this group. Look at the size.
So
well, my nickname is Brain. So
Yeah, you just switch two vowels and then you got it.
I knew a guy named Brian. And they printed out his checks and it came back Brain. So his name was Brain Lee Ford.
My driver's license for 15 years in California was Brain.
Brain.
Even my renewal said Brain.
What's your total win-loss now, Mike?
We're all separated by one game. He's on top. You're one behind. I'm one behind.
125 and 69, I believe.
Oh, that's a good number.
Yeah.
I mean, we are. Let me pull up my screen here. Nope, that's not the one I want. Let me share this tab instead. All right. Yeah,
Brian, we showed you how to do this. You know.
I know. Am I on mute? No. I'm 123 and 71. So I mean, we're all within 2 games of each other. Izzy's just off on an island. I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, let's go to the pick'em. Last week in week 13, I was 11 and 5. That's solid. You know, if I put equal amount of money.
That is respectable. You came back.
Yeah, I mean, very respectable. I've had a couple good weeks this year.
So you're only a game behind me.
I know we are neck and neck down the wire here. All right, so let's go to it. I mean, who needs this game more, the Cowboys or the Lions? They both do. Lions at home. Lions kind of getting embarrassed, but the Cowboys are playing really tough right now. I'm going to go with the Lions. I'm sorry, I'm going with the Cowboys, I think. Same with Cincinnati. Just the spark is there. They can taste how weak the AFC North is, and I think they're going to be hungry, even on the road in Buffalo. Both probably upset picks. I don't know what the lines are. It's not in front of me, but I'm going with them. I'm going with Cowboys and Bengals there. Indianapolis, Jacksonville. Jacksonville's just been playing better, but I think the Colts have got to get out of their free fall mode. I'm going to pick the Indianapolis here. Miami, New York. Yeah, I know you said they don't travel well and the weather's garbage and the Jets did just win, but I still think there's more talent on the Dolphins. I'm going to pick Miami. I'm picking Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. Of course, it's just against New Orleans. Pittsburgh, I think that they're the better team. I think Aaron Rodgers still has some left in the tank, and the Ravens just aren't that good. So I'm going with Pittsburgh here. I mean, winner of this might win the division. The Bengals are a couple games too far back. It would take something catastrophic for that to flip-flop. But I think the winner of this has the inside chance, obviously, at winning the whole division. I'd say Pittsburgh likely to get it done on the road. Seattle, Atlanta, Seattle. They should get this easy. Cleveland, Tennessee. Cleveland should be easy. Which is weird to say, a 3-win team, but
yeah, easy. But yeah, it is.
There is a gap a mile wide between the Titans and the Browns. The Browns are the best 3-9 team that really could be 5-7, 6-6 if a couple things go differently, but they didn't. But we're not a 3-9 team. We should smoke them. Fingers crossed. Washington at Minnesota. Yuck. Oh, gosh. I'm going Washington.
Going Redskins, huh?
Yeah, just Vikings are not showing me much right now. And I liked the fight that I watched in Washington in the Broncos game this week. Denver should steamroll the Raiders. I'm going Chicago at Green Bay. Of course, this is one where the youth of the Bears gives me great pause to go into Green Bay in December. They don't have the pedigree. They don't have the experience to do it. But sometimes what you don't know can be your benefit. And I think the Bears they're crushing this year. So I'm going to go with the Bears.
The Ute of the Bears.
Those Utes. Rams should get this, but watch for Jacoby to throw for another 300-yard game. Houston, KC, I already said I like Houston in this one. It's going to be tough being on the road in Kansas City this time of year, but go Texans. I think they got it. Philly, Los Angeles. Ooh, Philly's reeling, and the Chargers. Herbert needs to be doing some healing. I'm going to go with the Eagles. I just think that they are one of the top teams. They are a little discombobulated right now. They don't know who they are, but I think they're going to figure it out this week. And those are my picks, gentlemen.
One change.
What's that? Whoop, did I pull Mike off? Wait a second. Sorry, 1 second. There's Mike back again. What were you saying, sir?
Well, before I got deleted.
I know.
One change. I'm changing my Redskins Vikings pick to the Redskins.
Oh,
I just saw a report that Jaden Daniels was a full participant in practice this week for the first time since dislocating his elbow. I believe that's going to get them to surge. So I would suggest everybody that's bet that game, maybe rethink it. I'm taking
all right.
he's back at practice, but is he cleared to play? Is he projected to play?
Sounds to me like he's playing. Is what
I just went Redskins. I'd be interested to see if that points. They just announced that, huh?
That just was. I just saw it on Twitter X.
I liked what I saw to Marcus Mariota.
I did, but Jaden Daniels is still better.
Did the point spread change?
Yeah. Not that I know of.
Let me see. Checking it real quick.
Yeah, he's going to make his list and check it twice.
Redskins.
Going to find out who's naughty and nice.
Minnesota still favored by 1.5. So the bettors haven't gotten that information yet.
Well, gentlemen, before we go, just wanted to ask a quick question here. Did you watch any of the college football games this week? Of course, Ohio State took on that team up north. I want to share just one thing, not football game related, but it was football game related. Perhaps the greatest moment in mascot history. This is Brutus the Buckeye. In the snow, he decides to, well, here, let's just play this for you. I can't play you the game. Damn band in the land, known to do Ohio. Brutus starts stomping out the script of Ohio right there on finishes with the second O. There it goes. I think he can get one more lap here. And then he does the hop, skip, and a jump to not be high. Bravo, sir. A lot of Ohio State crickets were sold during this game. A lot of scarlet and gray in the stands.
Yeah, I understand the Wolverines stood on the Michigan logo at midfield at the end of the game, but they didn't go to the end zone.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I would say this, Brian. If Tim Mitchell was putting these in his report, you know what it would say? It would say the Ohio State Buckeyes are 1-5 straight up against the Michigan Wolverines in their last 6 meetings. That's what it would say. Just to point that out.
Hey, it would also say that the Ohio State Buckeyes are on a 1-game winning streak against Michigan. They're 1-0 in the last 2 games. Yeah, there's what is it? There's lies, damn lies, and statistics.
That's
so.
Right.
But anyway, just curious if you guys have any thoughts. It's starting to kind of shake out here. Buckeyes are going to play Indiana in the Big Ten.
These conference championship games, it takes all the luster out of the playoff. Indiana and Ohio State should not be meeting until the championship game if they both make it. That would be the best scenario, and I think Ohio State's going to win the national championship again because they're too good in big games. So, I don't like these playoffs. It's like the NCAA basketball conference tournaments. I hate those. Why did you even play the season if you're going to decide your champion with a fucking tournament? Makes no sense. It's just about money and having more games on TV. So.
Yeah, this is the unfortunate downside of, we got to expand the playoffs, get more teams. And I like it to some degree. But there was something just so urgent about if you lose a single game, you might be shut out of the national championship. You're like one and done. You got to stay perfect, have a magical season. I like that you can have a hiccup. But now it's like you can have 3 or 4 hiccups. Jim, did you have any thoughts on anything college football related by chance over the weekend or anything you're looking forward to this week?
No, other than the fact that there was a lot of discussion that Texas was shut out of the playoffs, and Urban Meyer had a good point. If Texas kind of voluntarily played Ohio State, of course, they got their asses kicked in the first week. Yeah. If you take that game out, if you just drop that game that they went up there and they played Ohio State and they got beat, Ohio State is in the playoffs. If you take that game out.
Texas, you mean? Yeah.
Texas, yeah.
That's a good point. And nobody knows who your team is in week 1. I mean, that was the worst game we saw out of Julian Sayin, who, by the way, as a redshirt freshman, might take down the Heisman this year. That kid is playing fantastic. Gentlemen, Mike, tell us about anything this weekend or your upcoming shows, where to follow you, anything on your way out the door.
Nope. I'm just staying home and watching football this weekend.
Heck yeah, life is good. Jim, leave us with a great quote, sir. You usually do.
What an organization that's described as acting as a protector against the arrogance of the powerful. What organization is that?
Say that.
And it's what the organization's word means. Acting as a protector against the arrogance of the powerful.
Journalists.
Mafia.
Ah.
Nice.
Mafia is a Sicilian Arabic expression, and
Yes.
that's what that word means.
Well, as we talk about potentially laying a couple ducats down on the games, keep in mind who might control all the outcomes in New York with a phone call. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Hope to have Izzy back next week. Signing out for everybody out there in the TNAM universe. Follow Strictly Football. Link up with the New American Media. I appreciate you. I love you, and we will talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
I'm Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
The New American Media is proud to present a division of the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, Strictly Football.
It's the Unhappy